This is late for me to get this out to you, and I do apologize. I got caught up in a lot of other things going on last week, but here we have it. We're taking a look at equations with radicals. We needed some knowledge to build to this point. We solve equations so many times, whether it's in physics, chemistry, or algebra, and we need to be able to solve radical equations. Okay, a radical equation is the equation that has a variable in the radicand, not just numbers. So look at my examples here. The square root of 3x plus 2 equals 8 is a radical equation because we have a variable in the radical, under the radical. The radicand is 3x. Okay, the second one, even though it has a radical expression, that expression does not have a variable under the square root or the cube root symbol. It is not a radical equation. Yes, you're going to have some irrational numbers when you evaluate that, but it doesn't make it a radical equation unless the variable is under the radical. Okay, to solve a radical equation, you follow these steps. You isolate the radical. You get it by itself. You raise to the power needed to eliminate that radical. Notice 3. Repeat steps 1 and 2 if necessary. Okay. Sometimes you have to isolate a second radical. You will see some examples. Step 4 is solve it. Figure out what your variable is. And step 5 is so important in radical equations. We cannot skip this. Sometimes you have answers that are not solutions to the original equation. Okay, these are extraneous solutions. They must be eliminated. Okay, what happens is sometimes when you square both sides of an equation, you get something that was not positive to equal positive. And when you go back and check, you realize, oh yeah, that's right, it can't be that number because it only works if it's a negative. But when you square root, you get the principal square root. So that's why it's important to check these. So you cannot skip this step. Okay, first example. Right, the square root stuff is already isolated. I can go immediately to step 2, which is square both sides. And remember, when you square a square root, those are opposite operations or inverse operations. They undo each other. So when you square that square root, it's just getting rid of that. Now you have 3x minus 1 equals 4. Go ahead and add 1 to both sides and divide by your 3. And notice my note to myself here, check it. So if I go back and check, and I put 5/3 in for x, I will get the square root of 5 minus 1, square root of 4. Yep, that's 2. It checks. There's my answer. It worked. There's more examples. Okay, remember that's step 1, isolate the radical. Well, I need to get rid of the 1. And now I need to consider, should I get rid of the coefficient 2 or not? I'm going to get rid of it this time because 2 easily divides into 4. But sometimes I might not. I might just square it where it's at. And then I'd have 4x equals 16 when I solve it. So when I square both sides, I'll get x equals 4. Go back and check it. 2 times the square root of 4 plus 1. Yep, that's 5. Wouldn't it be nice if they stayed that easy? Okay, another one. Move the 1 because we have to isolate first. Square both sides. Okay. Subtract the 2. divide by the 4, and I reduced it right away, and check it. Sorry, that's a 7. When I check it, I'll have 14 plus 2 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 4 minus 1, yes, is 3. Okay, here's one. Now we're going to start getting into some more algebra stuff that you might not say, oh, that was so easy, now it's not. You're right, it's not. Okay, so when I isolate my radical, I'm going to consider, do I divide out that 2? Well, in this case, I'm not going to, because the other side is not easily divided by 2. It's a binomial. I have to square it. So I'm just going to square both sides. Now remember, when you square this, you take it times itself. Okay, so if you need to, write it out, FOIL, or put it in your box so that you can expand it, but get your answer. Okay, now it's a quadratic. And we probably should have spent more time on quadratics. I'm not sure if you are as strong in quadratics as I had hoped you would be. But with quadratics, you get set equal to 0 so that you can try to factor and use the zero product property. So when I move my 4x over so that it equals 0, I get a trinomial that I can factor. So I'll get x minus 9, x minus 1. So the answers I get are x equals 9 or x equals 1. And I got to check them both. Okay, so when I try the 9, square root of 9 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 does equal 9, so 9 works. Now we're going to try the 1. Okay, I got to change colors. Square root of 1 is 1, so I got 2 times 1 plus 3. I'm sorry, that does not equal 1. So 1 is extraneous. I get just one solution for that. Okay, so what happened is they're saying, well, 1 has 2 square roots. It could be 1 or negative 1. That would work if you said the square root of 1 is negative 1, but it's not. It's the principal root that they're looking at. So that's why we gained an extraneous solution. It's why it is so important to check these. Okay, here's another one. We'll square both sides because it's already isolated. Okay, it's a quadratic again, so I'm going to make it equal to 0. And please notice I always get my x squared term positive. That makes it easiest for me to factor. I think you'll get x is 3 or 4 here, right? When we factor, we get x minus 3, x minus 4. So x is 3 or 4. And when we check it, 21 minus 12 is 9. Square root is 3. That works. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 minus 12 is 16. That works. So this time we do get 2 possible solutions. Okay. Oh, a cube root. Could you deal with this? It really is not any different. Okay. 3 cube roots of x plus 1 will add 2 to get 6. Do we consider dividing out the 3? I hope you agree that we should this time, because that's going to make it a much easier number to work with rather than cubing 3 and cubing 6. Okay, now we will go and cube both sides. So we'll get x plus 1 equals 8. Subtract 1, we will get 7. And go back and check it. 7 plus 1 is 8. The cube root is 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. It does work. Okay. And here's why we needed more than one step. When I started teaching years ago, I had a student, maybe you know him, Matthew Fisher. And I don't know where he's at now. I know there's a Matt Fisher over in Mercer, but it's not the same one. But he was able to do these in his head. And I knew how he was doing them, but I changed problems to challenge him. So if I see some of you just saying, well, I figured out that x has to be this number. I want you to know how to do these for when it isn't such a nice contrived problem. All right, so when we look back at step 1 to isolate the radical, there's 2 of them. And if we tried to square right now, that middle term would be a mess. So we're not going to until we isolate one of them. Isolate the messy one. Square root of 2x plus 1 is a lot worse than the square root of x. Okay? And now when we square both sides, the left-hand side is not bad, but the right-hand side, remember, we have to multiply it by itself. You have to FOIL or use your box. You have to multiply it by itself. So we're going to get 25 minus 10 square roots of x plus x. And remember, step 3 was repeat steps 1 and 2 if necessary. Well, here we've got another square root. To isolate again, we're going to move the x, and we're going to move that 25. So we're going to have x minus 24 equals negative 10 square roots of x. Ready? So we're going to square both sides again. See if it's going to move. Square both sides again. Okay, and again, don't have to give you the lecture a third time, do I? It'll be x squared minus 48x plus 576. That's getting to be big. And when we square this side, you got to square the negative 10 as well as that square root. Okay, it's quadratic. You need to set it equal to 0. So that's minus 148x plus 576. Okay, now I think that is going to be 144 times 4. I'm going to check quick. I'm right. So this will factor to x minus 144 and x minus 4 equals 0. So I have x equals 144 or 4. Okay, give you time to look at that, or you can pause it. But now I need to check it. So if I put 144 in here and here, I'm going to have the square root of 289, which is 17, plus the square root of 144, which is 12. And I'm sorry, 17 plus 12 does not equal 5. So 144 is extraneous. Okay? Check the 4. This would become the square root of 9. 8 plus 1 is 9. Square root is 3. And that's not switching. 3. And the square root of 4 is 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 does work. Righty? Here's another one. Now, this is what I was doing to Matt so that he wouldn't try to cheat and do this all in his head. But we're going to isolate the first one simply because they're both a mess. Okay? Square both sides. Plus 2 square roots of that stuff. Plus the 1. Isolate again. So when I subtract that, it'll be x minus 9 equals 2 square roots of x plus 6. And when I square both sides again, almost out of time, okay, I'm going to have x squared minus 18x plus 81 equals 4x plus 24. And again, make it equal to 0. So x squared minus 22x, I think that's plus 57. I think that will be what, 19 and 3. So check 19 and